what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the pod. I'm Emily, our outside operations administrator here at Best, and today I am here with Kevin, our plumber. So, Kevin, is this your first time on the pod?
This is my first time on the pod.
Well, I'm glad that I could join you. So, plumbing. How long have you been in the industry?
For about 13, 14 years now.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
That's older than some people's children.
Older than mine.
Alrighty. So, what got you into the industry? Have you, always wanted to do it, or did you want to be an astronaut? Just I'm actually scared of heights. So,
well, to be honest, growing up, I wanted to be a marine biologist. I love marine life, studying the ocean. But I did have a kid at a very young age, needed something that was going to put food on the table, roof over their heads. Lucky for me, my father was a master plumber in the state of California, or still is. And so he told me, he said, hey, son, if you want something that you're going to always have work, no matter where you go, come work for my company. And that's where my journey started.
That's amazing. That's actually so funny that you wanted to be a marine biologist, because I also wanted to be a marine biologist.
Kudos.
Because I had an absolute obsession with beluga whales.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I thought that they were just, so cool, and I stumbled across, this documentary about them and how they're, everything that dolphins were painted as, but, much better.
Right.
So, I was just completely obsessed with marine biology. But we're not talking about that today. We're talking about plumbing.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Okay. So you said your dad was a master plumber and he got you into the industry, just for that stability for the next step in your life. What would you say is the greatest lesson that he taught you while you were learning under him?
Greatest lesson my father taught me? That's a pretty solid question. Great lesson my father taught me is to, I guess, never give up. Keep chasing what it is you want in life. A minor setback always brings a major comeback. So I would say that would be it.
That's amazing. Your dad sounds awesome. So I'm going to get a little bit more into everyday plumbing stuff. So what would you say is one of the most common issues homeowners face on a daily basis with their plumbing?
Most common, what I would say, the most major one would be leaks. Leaks is the most common. It's the most common insurance claims in the entire nation. Flood outs, clogged drains would be another one. Pressure issues throughout the home. Those would be your more common plumbing problems that people at least see on a normal day basis.
Okay. How common do you think secret or sneaky leaks are throughout a home on
It's more common than you think. Just like an everyday normal person. How often, if I ask you the question, how often do you look underneath your bathroom sink to look at the drains?
Only when there's a noise that I don't like.
Right. See, everybody overlooks these common issues because plumbing is such a hidden thing that's in the house. Nobody's really paying attention to drain leaks, calcium builds up, like you said, until you hear something that's going on underneath the bathroom sink. That's when people look. So,
oh goodness,
yeah,
that's as someone who's experienced an extreme plumbing backup fairly recently within the last coming months. You don't understand how big your problem is until your entire house just isn't working with water.
Right.
And that was a big ticket for me.
Yeah.
It probably could have been avoided if I had been a little more proactive with getting my drains cleaned or checked for leaks and all that kind of stuff. But my follies as a renter will move past that for a little bit. So drains and clogs and all that kind of stuff. Usually when I think about that, I'm only thinking about hair in the shower, my a boyfriend's beard hair in the sink or something like that. Are there other kinds of clogs that we should be worried about that no one really thinks about?
Other clogs that you should be worried about? Yeah, definitely. When it comes to pipings, just like the earth moves, piping will move underneath, say for an example, underground piping.
Oh, I didn't know
Pipings will move as the earth moves. So when that happens, sometimes the pitch to your piping, which is always supposed to be in a downward slope, could either turn itself upwards, creating a belly in the pipe. And if that does happen as you're flushing wipes, you're flushing toilet papers, flushing things that you should not be flushing down the toilet, once that gets built up in there, you'll be maybe watching a sports game, running a load in your laundry, in your washing machine. And as that thing drains, next thing you know, you're in several inches worth of water.
That is horrifying. I didn't know that happened with just everyday things. It's really something that you don't think about,
right.
The pitch of your plumbing at all. Is there a specific angle that it's
supposed to be
at?
in a downward angle, quarter inch per foot. That's usually the pitch that it's supposed to be in.
Okay.
Just like I said, every now and then something does happen to the underground piping, whether it bellies up, potentially cracks. Root invasion is a very common one.
Yeah, trees are out to get us. So you did mention calcium buildup a little bit ago. How detrimental is that to your plumbing system?
So calcium builds up, if we were talking about in terms of fixtures, what it'll do is it'll start plugging things up. For an example, your drains will start getting plugged up. If we're talking about faucet-wise, you'll start getting reduced pressure. In your showers, the last thing you want is to be taking a shower and then it's taking you forever to get the shampoo out of your hair because the calcium is built up in the shower head.
Yeah.
So it is a really big issue, especially here. We have some really nasty water, so that calcium buildup does cause a major problem.
Yeah, I think Vegas wasn't there a study released that says that we have the worst water in the nation?
We actually fluctuate between top second to the top fifth worst water in the nation.
Oof, goodness. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about calcium and just kind of it's not great for your pipes. Because I have color treated hair, I've been told my entire life that your hair will dry out, it'll break, it'll crack if you have really, really bad water quality, which is why I have a filtration system, not only for my entire home, but for my shower specifically. Is that true, or am I just being fed industry propaganda?
If I'm going to answer if it's true, I can't say for sure if it's true, but if we're going back to the plumbing situation, if you look at all these calcium buildups on your pipes, on your fixtures, what tends to happen to those piping and to those fixtures? You either get a leak, something may blow. So if it's that damaging on your plumbing fixtures, on your plumbing system in general, what do you think it's doing to your body when you're just allowing that to,
it's probably
touch
not
you?
great.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
I don't want the calcium to touch me at all.
Right. That's why it's always best to get, if you can, eliminate the calcium from your plumbing system. It's going to protect your plumbing system. It's going to be healthier on your behalf as well. So yeah, definitely calcium is bad.
What can homeowners do to counteract it? Is it just filters? Is it replacing things on a regular basis? What can homeowners do to avoid this situation in this battle with calcium altogether?
The biggest protection I like to at least when I present it to my customers, when I talk to them about it, I like to tell them it's a shield, just like a Spartan. It's a shield, water softener, water filtrations, anything you can that can filter out that nasty chemical in there and the nasty minerals, anything nasty in the water. Anything you can do that, you're definitely going to be shielding. Basically saying, you're going to protect what's in your home. Okay,
that's good. So when it comes to that calcium, does that have anything to do with our water heater flushes?
Yeah, so if you're allowing calcium to build up in your water heater, you're just asking for a disaster to happen. You're basically creating your own time bomb, not knowing that's what you're doing.
Well, that's scary.
Yeah, so definitely eliminating that calcium in your water heater by flushing it. It's going to prolong the life of your water heater. You're doing preventative maintenance, so you're not waking up 3 o'clock in the middle of the night to a loud explosion, perhaps in your garage, or even waking up in the morning getting ready for work and you're trying to take a shower, brush your teeth, no hot water, walk into your garage, and now you got 3-4 inches worth of sediment on your floor, continuous flow, water damage. It's definitely bad for your water heater.
It seems like a really big issue that you can prevent fairly easily.
Definitely.
Okay. How often should someone be flushing their water heater, whether it's a tankless or a tanked water heater?
Okay, so not even statistics or not even based on a plumber's opinion. On your owner's manual, it definitely says maintaining your water heater or your tankless system at least once a year is something you should do. Like I said, it's definitely going to prolong the life of your units. Not only that, but if you're not maintaining your systems, on the owner's manual, it does say it will void your warranty. Yeah, so in case you didn't know that, that's what it'll do.
Dang, that sounds like it's just going to add like an extra big ticket to an already really, really, really bad situation.
Right. When it could be prevented.
Yeah, it could be just regular maintenance. I mean, we have $29 water heater flushes.
Yeah.
So, like, once a year, that's not super bad to avoid all of these horrible consequences that could be happening.
Right, which are, I mean, our $29 promo flush. It's not to brag, but it is a steal. I'd rather somebody pay $29 than to add several more zeros behind that 29. So
yeah, to replace everything, get everything repiped, and then you have to have another contractor come out and dry your drywall because water gets everywhere. Water damage is no joke. Nope. We've seen some really bad situations.
As the plumber myself, I like to tell everybody, water is either my best friend or my arch nemesis. So it's
a double-edged sword.
Right, exactly.
Okay. In like your experience as like an everyday plumber, what would you say is like safe? Because there's a lot of customers that end up saying like, oh, I'll just do it myself. I'll just take care of this myself, which absolutely like respect that. But what would you say is like a very clear like beginner DIY thing that homeowners can do to take care of it themselves, and what should they call a plumber to definitely do? Well,
to elaborate on that, I definitely encourage a lot of my customers to at least try to attempt some things in their house to kind of gain knowledge of what it is that's in their home, whether it's plumbing, whatever it may be. So like simple things that I do encourage customers to try is like replacing a flapper to your toilet. It's not really rocket science, you know. Something a little bit more extreme, which a lot of customers don't want to do. It's like replacing your shower head is not that bad either. But when it comes to things that are energized, and what I mean by energized, like pressurized water, something that's got, 60, 70 PSI of water in it. For an example, your water heater. Not that I discourage you to try to, tackle your water heater yourself, but the last thing I want is you go and turn the water back on, energize your water heater, something starts leaking. Next thing you know, you're in restoration fees, water damage, potentially not even having hot water that day as well. So those are things I would avoid. Definitely call yourself a professional. That's why we're here, But those are things that I would say commonly you can tackle. Flappers, maybe a shower head. Anything bigger than that, call in the experts.
Awesome. And we can usually tackle like water heaters, softeners, conditioners within like a couple hours.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes it can even be done the same day.
Yeah.
Like if you have a leaking water heater that just happened to you within 30 minutes, you call us out there, and I would tell you right now, in about an hour and a half to 2 hours, we'll get you hot water back.
That's amazing. It sounds very efficient.
Yes, it is.
So what would you say is like the biggest DIY mistake you see homeowners making? Like people who try to MacGyver it themselves, or either get like a handyman jack of all trades with like full respect to like their craft and everything, but it should just be handled 100% by a plumber.
No, I'm not saying a handyman can't install a toilet, but in my experience, I've gone through a lot of situations where we get called out. They've got a leaking toilet. And we get out there and we're like, the customer's explaining to us, they just had a handyman in. Handyman installed it 2 days ago. Every time they flush the toilet, it's spewing water down at the base. We get in there, we assess the situation, and it's as common as they're not using the proper wax seal, or they're not putting the bolts down tight enough. Or worst case scenario, they're putting the toilets together, because toilets don't come assembled unless it's a one piece. But if you're getting, multiple piece toilets, they don't come assembled. Sometimes they do their MacGyver trick and they flip gaskets, for an example. That's the biggest common thing that I've seen on handymans. They flip gaskets. They go and turn the water on. Everything looks good. 2 hours later, customer goes and uses the toilet, and then they're walking in water. So that's something I've seen.
Yes, another big ticket that
yeah, exactly.
that we'll have coming out. Okay, So, would you say that it would be responsible for homeowners to take a look at their own drains? Like I myself recently cleaned my own P-trap from my sink just because like I had a clog and I needed to get it taken care of really quickly. And it was fairly simple for me. Would you recommend that customers do like regular things like that? Or would you say like 100% leave it to the professionals? We won't make the mistakes.
Well, I definitely recommend customers doing that. But see, for our company, what we do is we offer maintenance plans. And our maintenance, what we do is we give the customers the peace of mind of having to do it themselves. Because sometimes pulling apart those P-traps is not the most prettiest thing.
Yeah.
In your experience, I'm pretty sure you know that. The smell.
The smell's not pleasant.
Right, exactly.
I definitely thought it was going to bite me.
Right. So then you get us come out and we do that for you. Not only are we taking care of just one drain, which is like, your most common ones, your kitchen drains or your bathroom drains. We're actually putting a camera down into your main sewer drain as well because everything ties back into that main sewer. So we do that for you. It gives you the peace of mind. You don't have to worry about it too much. But definitely it is a responsible thing to do. And that's what I agree upon.
Good stuff. What is included? Because you brought it up, so I'm going to ask anyways.
Right.
What is included when it comes to our plumbing maintenance plan? Like what goes on? What gets touched during that appointment?
Well, so like I was elaborating earlier, there are certain things in your plumbing, like plumbing in your home, you don't look at. For example, underneath your bathroom sinks. So those are things you don't look at. We come in once a year. And we inspect all your plumbing systems to elaborate on plumbing systems, your valves, your emergency shutoff valves to your faucets, your drains to your faucets. We inspect your fixtures such as your faucets, your toilets, your shower. Another thing that we do chlorinated testing. So we test your water, making sure that the chlorine content is not too high. We do pressure tests. There's a lot of fixtures, especially older fixtures in older homes. They're not rated to withstand high pressure. So we test your pressure, make sure your pressure's in the ideal PSI or the ideal range we want it at. That way, you're not risking a blown fixture, and valve is not going to blow on you. Another thing we do is we flush out your water heater for you once a year. It's just like proper maintenance on a water heater that I did elaborate on. That's something that we take care of for you. It's all part of the plumbing maintenance. And the most important one is putting a camera down your sewer. That one, the last thing you want, like I said, it's a flood. So these are things that we do offer, part of our plumbing maintenance plan. And it's preventive maintenance. Something, like I said, that gives you a peace of mind. Yeah, that's what we offer.
Yeah, sewer backup sounds like a horrible way to like start or end your day. So I'm glad that you guys are around to like keep our stuff in check. You truly are like the heroes of the home.
We try to be.
Plumbing is kind of like one of those like forgotten kind of stepchildren when it comes to like blue collar work. I feel it's kind of like one of those things that you don't see all the time, but it's always there, like holding it down and like holding like kind of has your back. What is there any like new plumbing technology that you're really excited about or you want to like talk to homeowners about because it's like such a good idea and just like such a benefit to their home?
Definitely. Like I would say in the earlier days of my career, there were things, that was barely rolling out of the market. For an example, for the longest, or as far as I know, tank water heater was like the industry standard for hot water, just domestic hot water usage. Now they have tankless water heaters. And I know a lot of people were like, it's a tankless water heater. How do I know if it's good? How do I know if it's efficient? Well, first and foremost, it's tankless, so you don't have to worry about a catastrophic leak of 50 gallons, 75 gallons, maybe even 100 gallons. Secondly, you don't have to worry about that water heater having to maintain a certain temperature. With tankless water heater, it's on demand. That's what they call these units, on demand heating systems. The moment you turn on a hot water fixture, you get that guy running. An hour later, you come back to that same fixture and you still have hot water. Where as opposed to a tank water heater, it's designed to maintain 50 gallons of hot water. Once that 50 gallons of hot water is done, you got to shut your fixture off, wait for the heating to heat that water back up to get it going. So that's one of the innovative technologies that they have now on the market. another device which is manufactured by Moen. It's called the Moen Flow. And I'm sure not a lot of people have heard of this Moen Flow device. Well, so what this Moen Flow device does is it acts as just like a shutoff valve, an emergency shutoff valve that shuts off the water to your entire house. Well, so with these devices, what's great about them is they take their time to learn your water usage, how much water goes through your house on a daily basis. Meaning, like in a day, if you, let's say you run about 100 gallons of water a day. If the Moen Flow detects something above 100 gallons, what it does is it alerts you on an app. You actually get an app that you install, and it's connected to your app. So it'll let you know, like, hey, you know, at 3 o'clock in the middle of the night, we've noticed 5 gallons of water being used when you're sleeping at that time. So what happens is it alerts you, lets you know, like, hey, we detected unnatural uses of water. And what's great about it is it'll let you know. First, it'll alert you. Then what it will do is it'll automatically, or at least prompt you and tell you, hey, in the next 30 seconds, if you don't do anything on this alert, we're going to automatically shut off your water. What it does, in return, what it does for you is it prevents leaks. It prevents, restoration costs. It's kind of a smart device for you while you're sleeping or at your peace of mind. For an example, if you're out on vacation, you're gone for 3 weeks at a time. Obviously, there shouldn't be any water being used in your home.
Right.
It detects flow, and it's like, what's going on? It'll alert you even if you're in Cabo, even if you're in Cancun, or even if you're on the other side of the country. It'll let you know something is going on. What would you like for us to do? If, for an example, you're in Cabo, you're in Cancun, you're like, yeah, I definitely can't walk into my garage at this moment and shut that valve off. You can shut it off through your app. So these are technologies that, preventative technologies, good high efficiency technologies. So those are certain some of the small few things that plumbing has to offer now.
That's actually really cool. I didn't know about that at all.
Yeah.
That's kind of like Big Brother for your water. That's really cool.
Absolutely.
Wow. Thank you. So just another question, because I didn't know this for a very long time until I started working here. So I'm sure that a lot of regular people don't know. What is the difference when it comes to softeners and conditioners? Because they're always talked about usually in the same conversation, but they're always posed as two separate things. Are they two separate things, or do they do the same thing?
The answer is yes, they are two separate things. So water conditioner, let's go with conditioner first. Water conditioner, I know it sounds rude to speak like this, but it's really self-explanatory. A conditioner, all it does is it conditions the water. There's no such thing as a saltless system. So a conditioner, essentially what it does is it's a ginormous filter, and it filters out the water with all the nasty bacteria that you can find in the water. Such most common one, E. coli. E. coli, yes, it's disgusting. It can make you sick. So what that carbon filter does, or that conditioner does, is it eliminates that E. coli, the bacteria that's in there, and it kind of makes the water safe to drink. Personally out here, I wouldn't, but it definitely can make the water safe to drink. Now with the big difference. Conditioner conditions the water. It's not sold as a softener, so it's not softening your water. What the water softener does is it's going to soften the water in your home, protecting your plumbing fixtures. One of the biggest things that we do offer is we offer a unit that has both features. So not only is it going to be softening your water, but it's going to make the water safe to drink.
Amazing.
Now, if you're me and my master bathroom is upstairs it's upstairs. So sometimes 2 o'clock in the middle of the night, I get up and I'm lazy and I don't want to walk downstairs. I can actually grab a cup straight from my sink. I know it sounds disgusting, but even the water in your toilet, you can definitely drink that too. Wouldn't recommend it, but
we would definitely discourage you drinking water from your toilet, 100%.
Absolutely.
You could if you needed to, though. So good ideas.
Yes.
In a pinch.
Right.
If you don't feel like running downstairs, you can just pop open your toilet.
Or from your shower.
Or your shower. Wow, I didn't know that we had E. coli in our water. That is actually very scary. Because isn't that the bacteria that causes most food poisoning?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. E. coli. I mean, if we want to go into more deeper details or deeper thoughts as to what else is in your water, pharmaceutical waste is in your water. fertilizers in your water. You have a bunch of nasty things that's in your water. And if you're not treating it and you're drinking it, for an example, going back to E. coli, if that causes food poisoning and you drink it, what do you think it's going to do to your body? Now, if it's not just you, let's say your kids. If you have kids, they've never been exposed to things like this before.
That's a really
now
big
your
risk.
kids are battling. I know I hate to say it like this, but now they're going to be battling for their lives. And that's, I mean, to prevent that, safety for your family, safety for yourself.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Kevin. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully we'll have you back again. You definitely taught me a lot, and I hope that you out there learned a lot too. But thank you so much for joining us today. Again, I'm Emily with Best Air Conditioning Plumbing Repair. This is Kevin, and you guys have a wonderful day and keep your water safe.